don't have it in them to be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? And that just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing you can really do about that. You know what I'm saying? So, first and foremost, I think he about ready. I mean, we see that a lot of instances going through the wilderness. Why would it just be Caleb and Joshua that were able to endure, but everybody else wasn't? He said they had a different ruach in them. He said they had something inside of them that the rest of the people didn't have. You know what I'm saying? That's just the reality of it. So sometimes you have to dig down deep, you know what I'm saying, to be able to get through. But we give praise, esteem, and honor to the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushua this day. We good. John 5:39, you know what it is. You already know what it is. You ain't got to pull it. You already know. I know what it say.
Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me.
What else?
I do not come to you. You do not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men.
What else?
But I know you that you have not the love of Elohim in
Let's
you.
go back to that Genesis 35 real quick. Let's go back to that Genesis 35, right? And let's look at verse 2. Look at verse 2. Genesis 35 and 2.
Tell her to reset
I got it.
her.
I mean, you stopped it, so that's probably what that is.
Yeah, she got to reset her browser.
Go ahead, man.
We're at Bereshit, Genesis 35, verse 2. And Yaakov said unto his household.
What did he? Listen what he said. He's speaking to who?
To his household.
Now you should know for Hebrew chapter 3 it say the master is over what? His household. So we talked about last night, everything that Jacob went through with Laban, he ended up becoming what? Yasharal. That means he had some afflictions, some sufferings, some persecutions. He endured them. He overcame. And not only does Yasharal mean to rule with Elohim, but it also say you have prevailed. He overcame, which means he endured. How many people will endure 14 years to serve for a woman? Because that's what he did. He didn't serve for Leah. He served for Rachel. He served 14 years. He endured that. Because he did his 7 and say, let me get my wife, bro. He said, no, I can't do you like that. So then he endured another 7. Not just the serving, but this man changing his wages. This man running game. You know what I'm saying? And all of that. You know what I'm saying? He endured this man not paying him. He endured this man coming after him when Yah took everything that Laban had and gave it to Jacob, which you should take that as a similitude of he took everything of the world and gave it to a Mashiach, and then a Mashiach would turn around and give it to you if you overcome. Because in Revelation chapter 2, the master told you that he would give you the same thing that his father gave him. Don't forget Psalms 2 and 7 just for a real fact. Then after that, Revelation 2 and 26. So you have to understand that. And this is going like, if you're going to be a son of Elohim, remember the master said, he that overcomes will sit in my throne if I'm sat down in my father's throne. Is that not what he said? So that means the same reward and inheritance that he receives as a firstborn son, all those that endure and overcome, he will give them the same thing. Now look what this man saying in Psalms 2 and 7.
I will declare the decree.
Decree. You know what a decree is, right? I'm going to let that be known. Go ahead.
Yahuwah has said unto me,
Said unto me,
thou art my son.
you my son.
This day I have begotten thee.
Now you keep that in mind when we go back to look at Benjamin being born. This day I birthed you. Remember what he told you in Abarim chapter 1. He said, what time did he call any Malachim a son? When did he ever call any angel a son? Never. See, don't fall for dudes to be like, see, it say the sons of Elohim. Yeah, it say the sons of Elohim. It don't say Yahuwah called him a son, though. He never called David a son. Did he call David a son? He never called David a son. He called Solomon a son. He never called David one, though. Go ahead.
It say, ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine
Now, ain't
inheritance.
that funny? What did he say to do?
Ask of me.
He said to do what?
Ask of me.
He said to do what?
Ask of me.
Now that would make a lot of sense when the master said, seek and you shall find, and ask and you'll what? Receive, right? What father wouldn't give his son a request if his son is honoring him? See, a lot of people, remember what James told you. He said, you ask and receive not because you ask to consume it upon your lust. So you asking for stuff, but that man's not giving you that. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not asking for nothing in righteousness. You're asking something to make you feel better on whatever that is that you may be asking for. Or you may not even be prepared to deal with something in a righteous fashion that you may be asking for. But you see Yahuwah telling his son, if you ask this of me, I will give it to you. You know what I'm saying? And this is going back to what the Apostle John told us about. If we do things according to his commandments and we ask of him, he will fulfill that request. He will fulfill that request. So this is another reason why you want to become a son and daughter of Elohim, because if you ask this man something and it's according to his will, he will give it. Go ahead, bro.
Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession.
A dominion and rule. Go ahead.
Thou shalt break them with the rod of iron.
With a what?
A rod of iron.
And what else?
Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel.
I'm going to crash them niggas.
Be wise now, therefore, O ye kings, and be instructed, ye judges of the earth.
Now he's sitting here telling the judges and the kings that they ought to be wise and to be instructed. This is another reason why Paul say if they would have known, they wouldn't have crucified the master of esteem. They heard the word, but they didn't want to be taught. See, that's what a lot of dudes' problem is. See, I'm not going to go into great detail about this, but I mentioned something to somebody earlier today, and they tried to make it seem like it was separate. If you are not instructed in the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach, you will burn straight in hell without question. And see, I'm going to tell y'all something else too. I'm not going to go into great detail, but we talked about it this afternoon. Do you not know when you go look up at the skies that the word is being preached to you? Especially at nighttime. You know what I'm saying? Especially at nighttime, that you can literally look up at the sky and this book is being preached to you. And that's why the book says no one will be without excuse. You don't got to have nobody come open up their book to you. You looked up at them stars. You seen them sons of Elohim up there. You seen when that sun went down, he went in the grave and it was dark and it was death, and that the men resurrected when he resurrected. And that's why them stars in that sky, you see it. Oh, you going to hell. You heard Yahushua HaMashiach and you ain't want to listen to him. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about no laws and commandments right now. I'm talking about you heard this man preach to you and you told him, nigga, you funny, nigga. You're not that dude. I don't believe you. That's what you're doing. It's simple things like this here, right? This man's testimony is in everything that he made. From the trees to the grass, to the skies, to the sun, to the water, to the animals, to the fishes and all. You know what I'm saying? That if a man is skilled and proficient enough in the word, he can preach the gospel just by taking you to the beach and sowing you some fish. Seriously. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. That's how because then no man can be without excuse. You ain't gonna have to be like, well, I didn't have a Bible. You don't need one. You don't need one. Abide on this book. That's what you do. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, bro. It's Revelation 2:26. Make it 24.
Revelations 2:24. But unto you I say,
unto you I say,
and unto the rest of Thracia, as many as have not this doctrine,
what?
And which have not known the depths of Hashatan,
what?
Have as they speak, I will put upon you none other burden.
So he told them people, those that didn't know, he said, I ain't gonna put no more responsibility on you. Go ahead now. Listen to what he tell you now.
But that which ye have already, hold fast till I come.
He said, I'm not gonna put nothing extra on you. Just what you already got, you hold that down. Go ahead.
And he that overcometh, and keepeth my works unto the end.
To the what?
To the end.
To the what?
To the end.
That's what people sit back and look at it. You got to hold that down. So you know what niggas do? And when I say niggas, I'm talking about anybody. You know what niggas do? Well, I done held it down for about 7, 8 months, boy. Shoot, I think I'm good. I go ahead and jump off for a little minute. You know what I mean? Bounce back. But that man told you if a righteous man do something and he sinned in his righteousness and he trusted his righteousness, all that righteousness he did shall not be mentioned unto him. But in his transgression shall he perish. Ain't that what he said? That's what he said. So that man said keep his works till what? The end. And you don't know when your end gonna be. We have to transmit our mind from thinking the end means when he come back here. Your end is your end. You know what I'm saying? You could die tomorrow. You know what I'm talking about? Let's just be real about that, man. You could die tomorrow. You know how many people I done seen that I know talking about, boy, they was somebody they know, boy, they came up dead. My homeboy daddy just died yesterday. Now the man know he was sick, but he just died yesterday. You know what I'm talking about? Like, come on, man. I just told y'all today, boy, I met a young woman, boy, her 2-year-old son, murdered. You thought she thought his end was going to be when he was 2? You know what I'm saying? Somebody just died just now. And I ain't talking about through no violence either. Okay, matter of fact, one of the brother on my page, boy, his mama just died from a heart attack the other day. Just dropped dead. You know what I'm saying? That was her end. She thought she was going. Most of the time, you have a heart attack, you don't see that coming. I remember being in 5th grade, right at there, Merrill Road, boy. Our gym teacher fell out dead, heart attack, while he was jogging. Was in good shape. He wasn't bad about it, nothing. He was in good health. Dead, dropped dead, jogging, out of here. You know what I'm saying? You don't know when your end gonna be, so you have to endure and hold to the word and overcome every day, because you don't know when he gonna punch your time clock. And if he punch your time clock and you ain't ready, you gonna be like this here. When your mom used to try to wake you up for school, you be like, give me 5 more minutes. You gonna be like, please let me stay in this grade. I don't want to get up. Please let me stay in here. I'd rather stay in here. But you know that's crazy? There's a lot of people gonna wish that that he would just, you know how some people say, ain't no hell, you just dead. You would wish that you were just dead. When this man wake people up, they gonna wish that, I just wish he just would have left me in here. Because not even the talk about the lake of fire, but the terror that you're gonna have to stand before this man's throne knowing that you weren't right. That's probably gonna be more painful than actually going in the lake. Some of y'all know what it was to be scared waiting for your mama to come home, knowing you dead wrong. That fear. Now imagine that fear, you waiting in line for this man to condemn you to a place you knew you was going to before you even died. Paul told you, us knowing the terror of the master, we persuade men. If you actually know this word, then you should be terrified of this man. Terrified. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, oh no, I don't want them type of problems. I don't want those problems. I don't want those problems. So that means you have to go to the end, because you don't know when your end is going to be. Your life is but a vapor. Go ahead, bro.
And he shall rule them with the rod of iron.
He shall what?
Rule them with the rod of iron.
And what else?
As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken into shivers.
Shivers.
Even as I received of my Father.
And what else?
And I will give him the morning star.
So he'll give you life then. This is what he said he'd give to his sons who overcame through him. Ain't that what he said? So he giving you the same thing his father gave him. Now come on back to Genesis 35 to look at the point. This is what this man is telling you when he sent back Jacob talking to his household. Because already his name is about to be changed to Yasharal. Not quite yet. So we could turn around and sit back and look at, as this is when the master was walking around saying, repent, the kingdom of Shamahim is at hand. Get clean, get right. Before he became a son of Elohim. Because this is showing you the same thing that Yahusha did. Before he became the son of Elohim, he told you to get your black behind right first. See, I seen another brother say, this is another matter that Mashiach will work out when he get back here. I don't know why you niggas think he finna have a remedial class when he get back here. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you supposed to already knew this before he came. This man is not going to come out, oh, I see y'all had a lot of confusion about some things, so let me iron this out and iron this out. They say this man is returning without sin unto salvation. You think this man is going to come back and murk everybody that didn't have a class? No, sir. I ain't never thought that. You know what I'm saying? I got more sense than that. Work something out. I got to work this out now. I mean, really sit there and think about that. The mentality that allows you to have. If you feel like he'll straighten this out before he gets here, then where is the sense of urgency to walk in righteousness? Where is that at? Because then you'll have a mentality of being laxed and complacent. Because you'll be like, well, if I'm wrong on this, the master will work it out when he gets it. And that doesn't lead you to actually discipline yourself to do what you ought to do. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to fall into that trap. That's the only reason why I mention it, is because it's easy to fall into complacency when people put complacency on your plate. You don't want that to happen. Go ahead.
We're at Bereshit 35, Genesis 35.
We're in 2 or 3.
And we're at verse
Let's go ahead and get
3.
it.
2.
35 and 2.
And Yaakov said unto his household and to all that were with him,
And all that were with him.
put away the strange gods that
Put
are
away
among
what?
you. The strange gods that are among you.
And what else?
And be clean.
And be what?
Be clean.
Be what?
Be clean. And change your garments.
Man, look here. And do what?
Change your garments.
Now, what did he just tell you to do, real? If we sitting back thinking about the master, what did he just tell you to do? Because remember now, we telling you that he's preaching to them before he became Yasharal, Just like Hamashiach preached to us before he became Yasharal. That's what he just told him. He told him, be clean. Remember what he said in John 15, you are now clean from the word that I have spoken unto you. And remember what he said, change your garments, he's telling you to be born again. And that's what we have to sit back and look at, right? And you have to change your garments. In order to change your garments, you're going to have to endure. You know what I'm saying? Get Acts 14 and 22 and listen to what this man about to tell these people. So if you want to be saved, you're going to have to be clean and you're going to have to change your clothes. You know, it's the same thing. How many of y'all familiar with that story in Zechariah when you got Yahusha, the priest, the son of Jehozadak? And what had happened when, right, he had on some filthy garments. And he said, man, go change that man's clothes, man. That's showing you have to put this body of sin off. Again, like I said, it's the circumcision of the heart. You've been the circumcision made without hands, putting off the body of sin. Why would he need to tell his family to be clean? You think he just told him, thought they were dirty? You thought they had on bad clothes? Because it's telling you something else. It's showing you what the master was preaching before he came. So if we sit back and we say we sons of Jacob, Jacob understood my mind and heart needs to be clean and I need to be transformed. I need to put off the old man who's corrupt according to deceitful lust and put on the new man who's fashioned after Elohim. And then walk according to this. You know, this goes back to what we were talking about last night. You have a name. You live but are dead. You dead in sin but live in righteousness. And that's how we have to look at it. Go ahead, man.
Acts chapter 14.
And verse 22. What did he say?
Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting.
So this is making your election sure. Confirming. And how are they going to be confirmed, sir?
And exhorting them to continue in the faith.
Through what?
That we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of Elohim.
So it's going to be a lot of suffering for you to enter into that. You know when we even really look at is that Abraham went through a lot of suffering before he got there, didn't he? And he didn't even get there. Isaac went through a lot of suffering before he got there, didn't he? And he didn't even get there. Jacob, they dwelt there, but they were strangers there. Jacob went through a lot of suffering. Guess what? Children of Yasharal went through a lot of suffering before they actually entered into the land. Hamashiach went through a lot of suffering before he actually resurrected from the dead. This is the whole key thing of why the book tells you should not Mashiach have suffered to enter into his esteem. See, nobody don't want to suffer, but that's where character is made. That's where greatness is birthed at. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people who ain't never had to go through nothing and deal with nothing end up never really doing anything. Not anything of note. Because things were easy for them. You know what I'm saying? That's when your character gets tested. That's where perseverance is crafted at. That's where greatness is formed, is through trials, through losing. Because you have to find a reason to keep pushing. It's easy to keep going if you always win. You don't learn nothing from winning. It's easy to do that. But if you've lost a few times, when you on top, you're not going to let it go because you know how it feels to be here. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know how it feels to be here, I had to put it this way. Why you think when white people go broke, they kill themselves? They ain't never been hungry before. They ain't never went through that before. They don't know what to do. You see black people do it. They could come up, fall back off, come right back up again. I was already down at the bottom, so me being hungry at home, that don't bother. I'd already been here. I know what it's like to eat ramen noodles and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every day. I know what it's like to open up this refrigerator, ain't nothing but a tub of mayonnaise and a gallon of water. But if you've never experienced that, that will drive you insane. Why you think the rich man ain't want to give nothing up? I gotta do what? Nigga, please. Nigga, I've been balling my whole life. All right. I keep the commandment though, but I need you to be complete and whole though. Shoot, nigga, I'm a whole around here to all these cattle and the gold I got around the corner. This nigga talking crazy. You know what I'm saying? He said he went away sad. This nigga talking great. Give up who? What? Follow who? Man, I'm gonna keep respecting my mama. For real. I ain't looked at it though. But guess what? Somebody who ain't never had nothing, you seen it when you go look in the book of Acts, them people gave up everything. They sold everything. Do what? What? Paul, my life, I don't see none of that. What you saying? Ride with you? Well, hold on. It's just like it's a song, but that nigga Jay wrote it, right? That nigga say, I give you a G. That nigga Bleak say a G. Nigga say, nigga, I ride with you for free. He say, I want the long-term riches. You know what I'm saying? See, that's what we don't sit back and look at. He said, oh, I'll give you this. He said, you don't give me nothing. I'll do this for free. I'll do this for nothing. Because I know that what you got long term, which I can get from this short term gratification, is nothing compared to what I get long term for rolling with you. You know what I'm saying? See, we can look at our flesh and look at what you can get short term, but you're going to lose out on the long term. I used to see dudes do that in the street, rob the plug. Dumb nigga, now you can't never do business with him no more. Yeah, you might have got a brick or two, but now you got to go rob somebody else again when you could have just did business with him continually and everybody got rich. Because we the niggas don't think long term. They think about just what I can get right now. And I blame that on American society and the flesh. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say people always been like that, but I'm talking about our generation because of instant gratification. You want what feel good right now. Go ahead, bro.
What group is this?
Assembly of the Firstborn. Assembly of the Firstborn.
Assembly of the Firstborn.
Shoot, it's right there on the sign. Y'all put it out there. Go ahead, bro.
Acts 14:23.
Oh, no, you good. You good. Come on back to this stuff.
Mike,
Hold it down, but I'm saying though, they got a menu by the door. Got a menu by the door.
I know, but I think it's going for this play.
I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's y'all fault.
Genesis 35, verse 4, 3. We have verse 3. And let us arise and go up to Bethel.
Let us arise and go where?
Up to Bethel.
To where?
Bethel.
He just sat back and said, let us go to the house of Elohim. Now think about what he just said. Get clean, change your clothes, approach Elohim.
And I will make there an altar to Elohim.
He'll make what?
An altar to Elohim.
What you do at the altar? Go ahead.
Who answered me in the days of my distress.
Answered in what?
The days of my distress.
In what?
My distress. And was with me in the way which I went.
Yeah, hold on. What she talking about, man?
Hey, we just gotta move to this side.
Y'all already know that. That's their fault.
Huh?
That's their fault.
I know. So we'll be moving while we keep going.
Yeah, that's their fault. No, I think the divider is like right there with, right there.
Right behind.
So check it. Let's see what that means, right? Let's see what that means. What you just read to me now? He said, let us arise and be going, right? Mm-hmm. And he said to the house of Elohim, right?
Mm-hmm. Make an altar.
And make an altar. Let's get Abarim chapter 3 and verse 1. Hebrews 3 and 1. See, that's the stuff I don't like. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta have y'all stuff on point. You should have came here and dropped that thing down when them ladies left.
They wouldn't put that whole room.
Yeah, then that's y'all not father for not having it split from the Joint Street. Then we gonna do their job for them?
Huh? What was that?
They supposed to have it sectioned off from the get-go. They'll learn. Now, ain't gonna mess nothing up. They gonna learn. They gonna learn. Ain't my job to get you on point. It's your job to be on point. Because I actually came to them people and told them, hey, we got half a room. You know what I'm saying? That's them.
Sire.
Yeah, you're a good man. Better than me.
Sire.
You can't take all the people tables, though.
Look, you heard him.
Abarim chapter 3 verse 1. Let's go, man.
Wherefore, Kodash brethren, partakers of the heavenly calling, consider the apostle and the high priest of our profession, Yahushua HaMashiach,
Consider your apostle and the profession of your faith. Consider him.
who was faithful to him that appointed him, also to Mashah was faithful in all his house.
Hey, there's something on that table. There's stuff left on that table. He was faithful to everybody in his house.
Hey, over here.
Go ahead.
For this man was counted worthy, more esteemed than Moshe, inasmuch as he who builded the house hath more honor than the house.
He that built the house got more honor than the house. Go ahead.
For every house is built by some man,
Every house is built by some man.
but he that built all things is Elohim.
He that built all things is Elohim.
And Moshe verily was faithful in all his house as a servant for a testimony of those things which were to be spoken of after. But Mashiach as a son over his own house,
Over his own house.
whose house are we if
So-
we hold fast.
So when he sent back going up to the house, we just read that to show you that Hamashiach is the house. And that you ought to go to that house. And you notice that before they went to that house, what's the two things that they did? They cleansed themselves and they changed their clothes. So before you actually can come into the house of Elohim, you have to be converted. You have to be changed. You're not coming in here dirty and nasty, not wearing them dirty clothes, man. And that goes into another point of what we talking about with dudes say the master gonna work all that out when he get here. It has to be worked out before he gets here. He's not letting you in his house like that. If you haven't changed your garments, you're not getting in his house. Is that not what they did? Then he said they built an altar, right? Romans chapter 12 and verse 1. After Romans 12 and 1, 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 2. Romans 12 and 1.
I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Elohim, that ye present your bodies as a living sacrifice,
Living sacrifice.
Kodash, acceptable unto Elohim, which is your reasonable service.
Your reasonable service. So if you are a living sacrifice, what do you do at the altar? You place sacrifices on the altar. Go ahead with the name, please.
And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is good and acceptable and perfect, the will of Elohim.
That's what Jacob did. Did he not prove through what we talked about last night was the perfect and acceptable will of Elohim? Now let's look at 1 Peter chapter 2. Go on and give it verse 1. I ain't gonna hurt nothing.
Wherefore, laying aside all malice,
All what?
all malice,
And what else?
and guile,
And what?
and hypocrisy,
And what else?
and envy,
And what else?
and all evil speaking,
All evil speaking.
as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. If so be ye have tasted Yahuwah, and that he is gracious, to whom coming as unto a living stone
You know, we talked
disallowed.
about that last night. Jacob had tasted the word of Elohim. That's why he was able to say that Elohim was gracious. Didn't we read that last night? He said it. He said this. He said, unless I had the fear of Elohim, I would have surely left with nothing. Go ahead. All right, big boy.
Yea, also as lively stones are you built of a spiritual house,
Spiritual house,
a Kadash
a
priesthood,
Kadash priesthood.
to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to Elohim by Yahushua Mashiach.
So there we go. This is what he said. They end up coming to the house, who is Mashiach, to offer sacrifices on that altar that could be acceptable. We just seen what would make your sacrifice acceptable. You giving your life to this man. And then you giving your life to this man, you would have to endure many things. He sat back and said that you through much tribulation for you to enter into. How else he going to confirm who his Kadeshim is? He got to see who's going to be willing to endure that trouble. Remember the parable of the sword? He said when persecution and tribulation come up because of the word, by and by they are offended. Niggas start walking. I seen a lady today. It is partially true. She was like, do you not know many people stop dealing with this word based on how we treat each other? There's some reality to that because niggas do treat each other sour. And it's usually more so arguing about nonsense all the time. And people see that they don't really want nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Or people see how people treat their mates and they don't really want nothing to do with it. Or they see that people don't really love each other like they claim they do and they don't want nothing to do with it. But a lot of times niggas just don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's too much work. I gotta resist what? I can't do what? I can't do what? Shoot. I'm finna go over here and serve him in name only. You know what I'm saying? It's what people like to do. Cause again, that's showing you. That's what I meant when I said that earlier about it's not in everybody. Cause he said confirming the souls of the disciples, so to make their election sure. Cause I got to weed you niggas out. Same thing he said in Ezekiel 20. I will purge the rebels. I got to weed you niggas out. Do you know what I'm saying? I got a whole bunch of people coming to holler at me talking about they want to do business with me. I want to do business with you. I want to do business with you. Well, I got to see who really trying to do business and who just talking. Because everybody ain't trying to get no money. Some of you niggas just wasting my time. So I have to weed you out. He did it in the wilderness. I got to try you. I got to weed you out. These here I can take. These here I'm going to leave. It's simple as that. Because everybody ain't got it in. Everybody ain't got it in them to keep going. Everybody ain't that strong. I remember I seen a dude talking about gangs. And now this ain't, it's parallel though. He was like, you know, how can some people not join the Bloods or the Crips in LA and others don't? He was like, everybody ain't that strong. Everybody don't have the same level of strength. This is why he told Peter, when you converted, strengthen your brethren. This is why he told you, if one member suffer, everybody suffer with him. If one be honored, everybody honored with him. That's why he say two's better than one, because if somebody fall, one can pick him up. Say a 3-chord fold can't be broken. You know what I'm talking about? So you could keep people strong, because everybody ain't that strong. See, one of the biggest mistakes we make is we think everybody is strong as you are. And everybody might not be as strong as you are. That's why he say in Romans 15 to let the strong support the weak and not to please themselves. Do you know what I'm saying? Because everybody's not that strong. I think sometimes we forget that everybody ain't that strong, and you look at like what's wrong. It's different from what's wrong with you being stupid and everybody not being that strong. Sometimes it's no different. How many of y'all some of y'all done been in that gym? Was you that strong when you started? It took time for you to be able to get up, boy. I can push 100 pounds now. I can push 125 pounds now. You know what I'm saying? When I started deadlifting, nigga, I was deadlifting the fixed bar, nigga. 60 pounds. Before I hurt myself, nigga, 400 pounds. So it take time to develop that strength. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be strong overnight. Some people are just strong naturally. Like they have strong characters, they have strong demeanors. And some people aren't. And that doesn't mean that you look down on somebody because they're not strong as you are. Then why don't you try to impart to them some of your strength? That's what the master did. I think we forget that at times. You know what I'm saying? I also think that sometimes we think that don't nobody actually care what you're dealing with. And some people don't. And some people do. But you won't never know until you express it though. Go ahead, bro. Where we at? Peter. We still in Gen 35? Peter. Peter, we do it. Peter, come back to the 35. I gotta crank it up a little. It's 420. Everybody on the stream, we appreciate y'all. Except for Kira. We don't like Kira. Not for real, Kira. When somebody said that, hey. I know it though. That's why I said that. So now. Kira say she showed one video to her grandma. Grandma said, I don't understand this preaching. She said, he ain't saying one verse and talking to me for an hour. Make me feel good about myself. That's what she said. Go ahead.
We at Bereshit, Genesis 35, verse 4.
Verse 4. What is it say, man?
And they gave to Jacob all their strange Elohim.
They gave what?
All their strange Elohim.
So they gave all their sins to the man.
Which were in
so
their
if they
hand.
gave all their sins to the man, then what would that cause your mind to gravitate towards? The man say he bare the iniquities, he bore our transgressions. Give me your sins, because that's what Jacob's household just did. Here go our sins. You take them. You carry them. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, right, this is because he did the master not preach that he came to bear the sins of the world? Well, let me say that. That's what John said, right? They go to Lamb of the world, Lamb of Elohim, who take away the sins of the world. That's what he said. So what I'm really working towards is you're seeing Jacob and his endurance. Even though his name had been changed already, you're seeing it again when he's telling them that his name is being changed in the 35th chapter of him preaching the word to his family that they might repent before his name actually is changed. Do you know what I'm saying? The same way we looked at last night, that his dealings with Laban, we didn't get to his dealings with Esau. That those persecutions and afflictions was confirming him to become Yasharal or the son of Elohim. Because what did we talk about what he did last night? We seen his doctrine. Because what the thing that we see about his doctrine? That man say, man, I got to be able to take care of my household. How do we know that he got that doctrine? He got it from Abraham because he said he knew Abraham would teach his household justice and judgment and the way of Yahuwah. So Jacob's doctrine is just like this here. His doctrine wasn't mine, but the one who son it. Whose son it? Isaac's son it. Whose son Isaac? Abraham. Whose son Abraham? Yahuwah. You understand what I'm saying? Then we also seen his manner of living. We seen his patience. We seen his love. We seen his afflictions. We seen all of these things, and all of these things are what caused him to prevail and overcome and have power with Elohim and to rule with him. And that's what we have to do. And it's not hard. And I'm saying that if we're going to quick the screen, Jacob, my daddy, will prove it then. Because if you sit back and say, Jacob, your daddy, does your life mirror his? Because Mashiach mirrored Jacob. And we're supposed to be mirroring a Mashiach, which means we should be mirroring Jacob too. Don't be sitting back here claiming somebody and you really ain't none of their family. You sit back and look at you, nigga, ain't none of my son. I ain't raised my children like that. I done told y'all that before your kids come in the wild and you come back in the door, surely this can't be my son. Surely we're going to have to get your mama to get a DNA test. You can't be mine. You know what I'm saying? That's how this man be looking at us, how we be acting. Surely these are not my children. He said in Deuteronomy, he said, surely the children who will not lie, doesn't they? Nigga tell lies every day. You know the biggest lie they say? Y'all's my daddy. Nigga just lied. I'm a child of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He said, if you were Abraham, see, you do the works of Abraham. Nigga, you just lied. Didn't he say everybody love and make a lie go in hell? Keep running around here talking about that's your people, that ain't none of your people because you're not manifesting that that's your people. What's so hard about following their framework instead of claiming these men in name only? You know what I'm saying? We don't want to be like that no more. We've been doing that too long as a people. I'm not talking about just us. I'm talking about as a people. Since we've been birthed, since you came through the Red Sea, that's all we've been doing is claiming these men in name only. You know what I'm saying? Let's stop claiming them in name only and do just like the master told us in John 8. If we Abraham seed, let's do the works of Abraham then. If we Isaac seed, let's do the works of Isaac then. If we Jacob seed, let's do the works of Jacob then. Because the master did the works of all three of them to show that he come from that lineage. You know what I'm saying? So we need to be doing the same thing to show that we come from that lineage. And then guess what all these people gonna have to do? Shut their mouth. That was going along with what I was telling you yesterday. We don't want to give niggas room to blame nothing. Because niggas be looking. They got magnifying glasses and telescopes. They be looking for something to say. Don't give nothing to say. You know what I'm saying? Sit back and ask yourself, since you've been walking in this word, the people around you, have you done something that would cause them to be like, you hear this nigga somebody he served God. That nigga better start coming to my house talking to me about that. Because they watching how you live. Because I've told y'all before, niggas ain't watching what you talking about. They watching how you live. You know what I'm saying? If you go to jail, nigga don't hear all that gangster stuff. When that nigga walked up and punched you in your mouth and you ain't hit him back, oh, that nigga ain't no gangster. I ain't never met a gangster do that. Do you know what I'm saying? You say you was a hustler. You say, like, here, boy, I ain't seen you produce nothing in here. You people say, oh, I'm righteous. All I see is a nigga. And I'm talking about, you don't want to give nobody no room to say that. You're going to have times where you might get in your flesh, do something incorrect. You know what I'm talking about? Make sure a bad example in this instance. You know what you tell them? You know what? I was wrong for that. I surely came forth a bad example of my Elohim. I'm ashamed. You know how people be throwed if you looked them in the face and told them that? Because you know most niggas be like this here, shoot, I ain't saying nothing. I ain't saying nothing. They sitting around looking at that nigga bet not never come around here talking to me about none of that in that book. Because I don't want to hear. That's how y'all felt when y'all people was in that Christian church that came around there talking to you about it. That's how you felt, ain't it? That nigga shoot, nigga, you got more holes than a pimp. Around here talking about, do I know Jesus? Nigga, do you know him? I'm for real though. You had to put yourself in your shoes when you were young, and then it doesn't matter about the doctrine, but how you felt when they came talking to you about this book, and you knew these niggas in real life. You didn't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, I know you, nigga. You was drunk last night. You know how I know? I was drinking with you. So you have to look at that. We got to look at what Jacob told his household to do. Get clean, change your clothes, and give me all your sins. Because he'll carry them for you. Why you think he say my burden is easy and my yoke is light? Because everything, that stuff you've been carrying, go ahead and give me Hebrews 12:1. You gave it to me. Don't you realize that they traveling in Genesis 35, they got to get rid of some of all that stuff they carrying? That's what some of y'all need to do. Gotta get rid of some of that stuff you carrying. Stop carrying that stuff around. All you gotta do is let it go. Look, Mike. What's up? Oh, he used to do that all the time when he was getting little. He thought I ain't finna do nothing to you, man. Go ahead, man. Hebrews 12:1, man.
Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witness,
What else?
let us lay aside every weight,
Let us lay and do what?
every weight,
Put that sin to the side.
and the sin which does so easily beset us.
I think we don't even sit back and realize that the sins, the plagues that you got in your heart can so easily set you back. Go ahead.
And let us run with patience the race that is set before us.
Stop. You come back to Genesis 35. Then you see how, again, I'm talking about the patience, right? 'Cause I'm not going to go in that degree. You talk about the patience last night. That man served 14 years for one woman. And it said it seemed like but days to him. 14 years. You know how much patience you got to have to go? I don't even know if I'm going to live tomorrow. But my hope is I'll be married to Rachel at the end of it. I did it for 14 years. That's how serious that was for him. That's how serious it was for the master, the patience he had to be able to receive what he had. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to serve for 3.5 years. 3.5 years is not a long time. I mean, it's not a short period of time. And when you actually working towards something, it can seem even longer. But you know what I'm saying? It'll seem like, will it ever end? Will it ever stop? When will it be over? But you got to know the manner of love you got to have to serve for something, and you didn't even care how long you served for it. You didn't even care what you had to do to get it. You know what ends up happening when you get it? You appreciate it very, very, very much, to the point that you would never let it go. That's how you're supposed to feel about the word. Go ahead. You're supposed to feel about the word like Jacob felt about Rachel.
We have Bereshit, Genesis chapter 35 and verse 4.
Verse 4, come on, man.
And they gave unto Jacob all the strange Elohim which were in their hand, and all the earrings which were in their ears. And Jacob hid them under an oak which was by Shechem.
Hit him on the well.
Under an oak which is by Shechem.
Ain't that one of the trees, the plant, branches, tabernacle, you build a tent?
You got oak?
Wood, something like that.
Nah, Oak Sechem is a place.
Shechem place. Shittim wood, yeah.
Just to sit back and remember, if you sit back and he said he hid it up under the oak, all you need to be thinking about is the book of Daniel when he say cut the tree but leave the stump. Put all them sins up under the master. Let him cover them up. Because that's what he's telling you about. A tree covered up your sins. Hamashiach covered up your sins. Take them sins and put them up under him. Let him have them. Go ahead.
And they journeyed.
They what?
They journeyed.
So they was walking.
And the terror of Elohim was upon the cities that were round about them, and they did not pursue after the sons of Jacob.
So they ain't go after, they were scared.
And Jacob came to Luz, which is in the land of Canaan. That is Bethel. He and all the people that were with him. And he built there an altar because of the place, and called the place Al Bethel, because there Elohim appeared unto him when he fled from the face of his brother.
So like I said, I didn't deal with that part, and I was going to talk about it today, but I ain't going to get it today. Remember, he fled from his brother. You don't think that was persecution and affliction he was suffering? Child of the flesh persecuting the child of the promise? He got missing. He endured. I don't think sometimes we sit back and really look at all the stuff Jacob dealt with to be able to obtain it. He didn't have no easy road and no inheritance. See, we overlook that because all we want to talk about is Jacob. But look what Jacob did, though. How many gonna do that, though? How many gonna have the faith that he gonna have to check this out, right? All this cattle you got. See, these and these, whichever one slide over here, that's gonna be mine. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? Because Yahuwah gonna answer for me. My righteousness gonna answer for me. And y'all took everything Laban had to a point Laban wanted to kill it. He taking everything, we gonna lose our place in nation. Coward nigga. Go ahead.
We have verse 6. Or 8, I'm sorry. But Deborah, Rebekah's nurse,
We don't
died.
need that no more. Come on around here to about verse 11.
And Elohim said unto him, I am Al Shaddai. Be fruitful and multiply, A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and the king shall come out of thy loins.
What you think these kings is that's coming out of his loins? Because it's kings plural. What kings you think coming out of his loins? Y'all got any idea what kings should be coming out of his loins? Go on to get Isaiah 32, verse 1, I believe. And after that, Matthew chapter 19. Matthew chapter 19 and verse 27. He said kings gonna come out of his loins. Now you gotta understand something. Jacob has endured a lot of things, right? And now he's gonna produce some kings. Because see, we got a couple words what endure means. There's 3 different words for it. One is literally is going to tell you about the death of the master. Go ahead, bro. This is Isaiah 32 and 1. Tell me what that say.
Behold, a king shall reign in righteousness.
A king shall what?
Reign in righteousness.
And what else?
And a prince shall rule in judgment.
And princes shall rule in judgment. And what is a prince, right? Those are rulers. He said kings gonna come up out of you. Now look at Matthew chapter 19 and verse 27. See what that say. Make it 25.
When his disciples heard it, they were exceedingly amazed, saying, Who can be saved?
Who can be saved?
But Yahushua beheld them and said unto them, With men this is impossible, but with Elohim all things are possible. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all.
They did what?
We have forsaken all,
And what else?
and followed thee.
And follow thee.
What shall we have therefore? And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his esteem, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Yasharal.
So we can see that the kings in one instance would be the apostles, right? But hold on though. Get Revelation chapter 3 and verse 20, and let's see if it be more kings. Because what did Revelation 5 and Revelation 1 say this man's blood allowed us to become? Kings and priests. So when he say a multitude of kings, didn't he say there's a number at his throne which no man could number? So he's giving them a promise. And the master came back around and promised us, why you think we read the Revelation 2? If you're going to be ruling people, what would that make you? A king. But do we carry and conduct ourselves like kings? Like these men did to attain these promises? Or you just a court jester trying to put a king's crown on?
Can I go back to Ishmael too, when he was born?
Yeah, we're just not using that one aspect of that one. Because he told Ishmael he had kings. Yeah, the same thing to the apostles. Because he told Ishmael, he put a number on it. Told him he had 12. Go ahead.
You said Revelation
3 and 20.
Behold, I stand at the door and knock.
He did what?
I stand at the door and knock.
What else?
If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him and will sup with him and he with me. To him that overcometh will I grant.
When you hear overcome, you should think about enduring. He that endures to the end, the same shall be saved. He that overcome, what will he do?
Will I grant to sit with me in my throne,
And his throne.
even as I also overcame and am set down with my Father in his throne.
So if the master got a throne for overcoming, he giving you a throne then, now wouldn't he? Now what would that make you?
The king.
Come on back to Genesis 35. This the promise that he made. So basically he promised Jacob that you'd have a lot of kings. He promised the master the same thing. I don't think we really seek to strive to that, because if you're going to sit back and look at it, what does the law say a king's supposed to have? He's supposed to have a book of the law, right? And he's supposed to know it. So you know what that's telling you? Your heart's supposed to be circumcised. The ruach's supposed to be in here. If you gonna talk about, because Israelites love to scream they're a king, ain't them? Somebody going to hell, they just lied. Because you ain't got no copy of that law in your heart, boy. You just lied. Boy, you see how easy you can take yourself to hell? Boy, that's why I tell you, boy, watch what you say out your mouth. Be right to my, I'm a king. Okay. Okay, where your copy of the law at? I ain't got no copy. You in trouble. Because that thing supposed to be here and here. That thing supposed to be here and here. You say you a king, and that blood of this lamb done cleansed you from all unrighteousness. That book of the law supposed to be in your heart. Ain't that what the law say? Read it to them out the law so we don't think we just talk. Deuteronomy 17, so they don't think we just talk. I'm just telling you something what y'all love. That's the truth. If we gonna make these proclamations, then let's manifest that so no man can open his mouth. And when I say no man specifically, I'm talking about the adversary. Because he loved to accuse. He'd go right up to the throne. You see that nigga said he a king, man?
You don't do nothing about that.
Straight up, you don't do nothing about that. That nigga said he was a king. That nigga was beating his meat last night. I seen it.
You don't say nothing about that.
You know what I'm talking about? That's what he gonna do. I seen him. I was there. I'm the one put the thought in his head. You know what I'm talking about? I was there.
What?
I told him, cut off Porter. Cut it off.
Don't come for it.
Ain't gonna hurt nothing. You ain't gonna be shamed. You can clean up before your mama get back.
What? That boy off the chain.
You know what I'm talking about? For real though. I mean, I'm sounding funny, but I'm dead serious though. That nigga, that wild. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta sit back and look at it like that. Every proclamation that we profess, if we not actually rocking that, that nigga is accusing you. He pointing you out. He said he Abraham's seed. He just told a lie last week. That's my son. He ain't none of Abraham's son. That's my son. Y'all kill it, please. Let me kill it. You seen what he did to Job? You think he ain't doing it? Then we did talk about cast out the scorner last week. To cast out the scorner, you got to cast off the body of sin. You got to cast off iniquity. Or else it's going to be strife and contention. All right, play with it. Don't Ezekiel tell you cast away you all your transgressions so iniquity won't be your ruin? You better get saved from around you. Because all he going to do is just like this here. That nigga there. Because you know he don't talk loud. He like to whisper. He say he the prince of the air. Satan like to whisper. He don't got no bass in his voice.
You don't say it with his chest.
He don't say it from the diaphragm. Go ahead.
Yeah, what, Deuteronomy 7?
Yeah, Deuteronomy 17 and 13, I believe. I got the Genesis 35 because I got to speed it up. Deuteronomy, is it 13?
Oh, 15?
15, go ahead. That's all we want is that. Listen what he say a king's supposed to have. What does the law say? Go ahead. What does the law say? Niggas love to screen the law, but what does it say? Deuteronomy 17 and 15.
It say, thou shalt in any wise set a king over thee, whom Yahuwah Elohim shall chose one from among thy brethren. Thou shalt set a king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother.
Don't be setting Satan up over you and that ain't your brother.
But he shall not multiply horses to himself, nor cause the people to return to Egypt, to the end that he shall multiply horses. For as much as Yahuwah has said, ye henceforth return no more that way. Neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away. Neither shall he greatly multiply himself to silver and gold. And it shall be that when he sitteth upon the throne of the kingdom, that he shall write him a copy of this law in a book, out of that which is before the priests and the Levites.
He said, well, a king's supposed to have a copy of the book. Why?
And in it shall be with him, he shall read therein all the days of his life.
He should be in the book every day of his life. Now, we're going to talk about that meditate that he talked about, too. That's why I got to crank it up a notch. So if we're going to sit back and say we's a king, then the copy of this law is supposed to be inside. It's supposed to be with you. You're supposed to be thinking upon the, because you know what happens when you think upon the word? Then you can be able to give a man a good word who was weary in due season. You would be able to regulate your behavior. You would be able to have understanding. We love to scream. You know, Hebrew love to scream. I study every day. And stupid. And stupid. And you know why they stupid? Because they ain't got a Mashiach. You can't never be wise and intelligent and strong and you ain't got the master. Education does not equate intelligence. You know what I'm talking about? Studying does not equate you know what the book says. Nigga, these white folks study this book every day. You know what I'm talking about? They at theology seminary studying every day.
You see most of these groups, they have like 8 different Bibles on them pictures.
All that there. Niggas walk around taking pictures with books. You still stupid. Niggas say, why you don't take a picture of, I stopped sinning today. Matter of fact, I walked in faith today. Take a picture of that, nigga. I don't want to see no pictures of no Josephus, nigga. What I'm do with that? What I'm gonna do with that? That nigga read, boy. So what? Nigga, I read too, nigga. Shoot. Don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I say that this is right. I ain't talking about somebody who just beginning, because I know a lot of people just beginning, that's what they see. And they're going to emulate what they see their peers doing. But boy, after you got about 3, 4, 5 years up under your belt, it's supposed to be some maturity come in after a while. You know what I'm saying? That's no different. If you come into something new and the people around you, that's what they're doing, naturally you're going to do what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because almost every group took pictures of a whole gang of books, talking about look at all the books I got. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much all of them done did it. I like I said, pretty much everybody done did it. Because that's what the people around them were doing. That's what was being imparted to you. Get books, read books, take pictures of the book. Niggas probably took pictures of the book, probably didn't even read them. You know what I'm talking about? You didn't want a nigga see you had the book. Nigga walk up to you, what that book was about? Shoot, boy, I gotta get back with you. I've been busy. I'm gonna have a lot on my plate. You know what I'm saying? Then why you show me that book, nigga, you ain't read it? Nigga, that mean, nigga, do you read this book then, nigga? Genesis 35, I got you, man. Where we at, right? Verse 12. He say, in the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac to thee, I will give it. And to thy seed after thee will I give the land. Remember, not seeds of many, but seeds of one. And that be Mashiach, to receive the inheritance. Listen, next thing he tell you though. And Elohim went up from him in the place where he talked with him. Now this is what we're going to talk about Sunday. And Jacob set up a pillar in the place where he talked with him, even a pillar of stone, and he poured a drink offering thereon, and he poured oil thereon. Now what you think this means? Him pouring a drink offering and oil on the pillar of stone. Now you sit back and look at it. No, I'm talking about a literal drink offering got poured on. I ain't talking about when they sat down to that table. We know when the oil got poured on him, right? When a lady came and anointed him for his death. But when did they pour a drink offering on him? What type of beverage did they try to get this man? That vinegar. All it was sour wine. And they tried to pass him a drink offering. You know what I'm saying? But you know what he did? I don't want none of that. But then he turned around and said he thirsty. And they gave him something and he drunk that though. Drink offering got poured on that pillar of stone. This is the next thing you say. And Jacob called the name of the place where Elohim spake with him Bethel. And they journeyed from Bethel, and there was a little way to come to Rephath, and Rachel travailed, and she had hard labor. Now we're going to look at this part where it's talking about she had hard labor. Let's look at this part where it says she had some hard labor. It says she travailed and she had hard labor. When we look at travailing, we have yalad, and that's to bring forth or childbirth or distress. So she's about to birth, right? Now think about this here when you look at something what we're going to read what the master said. Then it says she had hard labor. When it began to talk about the labor, it's the same thing, but I want hard, which is kashah, and it's to be hard, severe, to be harsh, burdensome, to make difficult. So she had a difficult time giving birth, right? Now think about this when it pertains to the master, and think about this when it pertains to being born a son of Elohim. Gonna have a difficult time. Let's see how. John 16 and 20. John 16 and 20.
Verily, verily, I say unto you, that ye shall weep and lament.
You shall weep and lament,
But the world shall rejoice.
they gonna rejoice.
And ye shall be sorrowful.
Sorrow.
But your sorrow shall be turned into joy.
Ain't that son? Didn't she call Benjamin the son of her sorrow? But yet Jacob was rejoiced though, and changed his name. Go ahead. And I'm saying this here is because in the beginning, you know, the books say that the master was a man of sorrows. And through much knowledge is much grief. Because in the beginning you're going to be sorrowful, but when you get converted, there will be much joy. Go ahead.
It said, a woman, when she is in travail, have sorrow, because her hour is come.
Is that not what we're reading about Rachel? We don't even sit back and realize that the master is telling us about the law. He's telling us about Rachel. And he's actually telling us about himself. Because what, you remember what Rachel's name means? It's nothing deep though.
Something. Oh, God.
If I'm not mistaken, I just think it means the lamb. Yeah, ew. A ewe lamb. Just simply a lamb.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
Just simply, but it makes a lot more sense when you see a lamb giving birth to a son of my right hand. And the master is the Lamb of Elohim. And he gave birth to sons. Do you know what I'm saying?
He had to die.
He had to die to give birth to sons, just like, that's what I'm saying. This parable that he's telling them about Rachel, because Rachel was about him. Rachel endured all of that to give birth to a son of Jacob's right hand. Hamashiach endured all of that because we just read Revelation 3, right? He said, we overcome through the hard labor and the distress and prevail and endure, we'll become the sons of his right hand. Just we would become Benjamin. Because it's amazing that it was none but a lamb. If you don't believe, go to sit back and look at that with the thing what David did with Bathsheba. He said this man had a whole bunch of, he said this man had all this type of cattle. He had one man, all he had was one little precious little ewe lamb. That's all he had. And you took it from him.
Took little Rachel.
Took little Rachel. No, that man, you know Rachel was beautiful. That's all he had. You don't take that from him. That's amazing though. But you see how we overlook. See, we were talking about this afternoon. People look at the book in sections and don't think that one thing is mutually exclusive with another. They don't look at the word in a holistic approach. And that's what the hindrance in a lot of people's power and understanding come from. Go ahead, bro.
We had John 16,
Keep on going. Yes, sir.
verse 22.
Verse 22.
And ye now therefore gave sorrow, but I will see you again,
I will see you again.
and your heart shall rejoice,
Rejoice.
and your joy no man taketh away from you.
Nobody gonna take it.
And in that day ye shall ask me nothing. Verily, verily, I say unto you, whatsoever ye shall ask the Father in my name, he will give it to
He'll
you.
give it. Ain't that's what we just seen with Jacob?
Hitherto have ye asked nothing in my name. Asking ye shall receive, that your joy may be full.
That sounds just like the law, man. How these dudes will miss all that stuff and they such Torah experts? That's why they said, I told you right, he was in the room and Glove was in the room. You know what I'm saying? When we talked to dude last week, you know, Sal supposed to have set it up to where, you know, dude get at us on setting up the discussion in the name of it. We ain't heard from Cuz yet. You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna be no debate, it's just gonna be a discussion. What he wanted to discuss was, he said he has no dispute that Mashiach is in the Tanakh. Like, yeah, he said, I have no argument with that. I don't dispute that. I said, all right, cool. He said, well, we'll deal with, is he the anointed one, and can a man die for your sins? He ducked that question, didn't he, though, Glow? I'm talking about, I just told him, I say, man, can we go in the word and show you somebody dying for somebody else's sins? He said, I'd like to see that. I said, let's talk with Joshua chapter 7. Let's start with 2 Samuel chapter 21. We didn't get no response. Then this man actually told us that blood is not a requirement for the atonement of sins, even though he read it directly out the law. Did he not read it out the law? I didn't read it to him. He read it. Do you know what I'm saying? He said that ain't required. I said, oh my, this is getting ugly. Oh my, it's getting ugly. You know what I'm saying? Huh? Yeah, I did. You know what I'm saying? I go front. I clown the nigga. You know what I mean? That's what I do. But nevertheless, though, you know what I'm talking about? But I ain't messing with this nigga over here. But you know what I'm saying?
You can't go to the 6 First Samuel right now. I ain't gonna say it. I agree. You don't know that. I'm gonna agree.
You know, I'm just saying though. Well, the thing that is that now I don't doubt that the brother is knowledgeable. But dudes don't know the book like they profess that they do. Because as soon as I would have said that Saul's sons were killed for the atonement of a transgression of somebody else, he was like, I can't argue with that, brother. I'm familiar with that. Because it did say, what do we need to do to make an atonement for you? He said, oh, yeah, give me that nigga kids and kill him for me. And hang him up on a tree at that. I said, nigga, what that sound like to you? I need to see, brother, you looking at it wrong. But I also had to explain to him the perspective too. Because the perspective of him dying for your sins to most people is that he died, you're going to do what you want to do. That's not what he perished for. He perished to cleanse your slate. I asked him a simple question. I said, okay, bro, if this man can't die for your sins, then how do you reconcile that the covenant can be redeemed and Yahshua can be a people again? Because according to the law, we all got to die. According to the law, we all got to die. How do you reconcile that? Because some atonement had to be made, nigga. You niggas saying I'm sorry for breaking the covenant, it's not gonna do it. I'm sorry, sir. I bet you is. Cut his head off. When have you ever seen this man not kill somebody for doing something under death? Where they slid for that? Where you see that at? Boy, something had to be made for. Boy, when David did that there, you know what he did? I'm gonna kill that baby. I'm gonna kill that baby. That baby gonna die. You ain't gonna die. I ain't gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill that baby though. Then you sit back and look at it. That baby was an atonement for a sin. Cause somebody's got to die. You murdered a man. You know what I'm saying? You murdered a man. Somebody got to die. You know what I'm saying? Some blood's got to be shed. Boy, you committed adultery. Blood got to be shed for this. I told the dude, I said, right in the law, it said, your blood shall be upon you. Ain't that what it said? Ain't that what it said? So that means some blood got to be shed, or I'm going to have to shed yours, or Yahuwah is a liar. See, but dudes don't like to talk about stuff like that, because then it get tight, it get ugly. And I could just repent. I hear you, man. I hear you. Go ahead and keep repenting. I even asked him, I said, was not the first covenant sealed with blood? Yes, it was. What the problem is, nigga? You know what I'm saying? He said he gonna make a new covenant in Jeremiah, right? Yeah. Then who blood got shed, nigga? That nigga say Isaiah 53. See, that's Yasharal. I say, nigga, how Yasharal get sacrificed for Yasharal's sins? Niggas, you smoking rocks, meth, or what? And do you expect me to smoke it? Because I have to be high to believe that. Yasharal bear their own sin. That's when you just do this here. Slap him right upside the back of his head. You make sure you catch him a fresh soup bowl first. Cut him a fresh bowl before you slap him. Come on. Okay, you cut him a fresh bowl before you slap him. You want to make sure you slap that nigga hard enough with the whole back of his head red. And that nigga jet black.
We had John chapter 16, verse 24.
Keep on going.
Hitherto have ye asked me nothing in my name. Ask and ye shall receive, that your joy may be full.
Be full.
These things have I spoken unto you in the Proverbs.
He said he spoke these to you in dark sayings. Come on.
In the Proverbs. But the time cometh when I shall no more speak unto you in Proverbs, but I shall show you plainly of the Father. And that at that day ye shall ask in my name, and I say not unto you that I will pray the Father for you. For the Father himself loveth you.
He loved you.
Because ye have loved me.
Because you loved me.
And believe that I came out of Elohim. Came from Elohim.
Listen.
I came forth from the Father, and I am coming to the world again.
You know what's crazy? Say he came forth from the Father, and you know what Jacob came forth from? Isaac. And to do what? He got Rachel. Rachel became an inheritor of the grace of the inheritance, right? The inheritance of life, just like Isaac going to get Rebekah. That's a Mashiach coming to get us. Come on.
I came forth from the Father, and I am coming to the world. Again, I leave the world and go to the Father. His disciples said unto him, Lo, now speakest thou plainly, and speaketh no proverb. Now are we sure that thou knowest all things?
You say, now you believe. Go ahead.
And needeth not that any man should ask thee? By this we believe that thou camest forth from Elohim. Yahushua answered them, do ye now believe?
Ain't that son? He said, I had to tell you all that. You ain't believe me before I said all that. Go ahead.
Behold, the hour come, yea,
And now
is now come, that ye shall be scattered.
Scattered.
Every man to his own, and shall leave me alone. And yet
You know
I
that's
am not
crazy because
alone.
he's sitting here telling them, he telling them what Job said, he telling them what Jeremiah said. He said the time gonna come, y'all gonna leave me alone and leave me up here to die by myself. He would tell them again, if these dudes knew the law and they knew the script, they would already know, oh yeah, that's Job, that's Jeremiah, that's such and such. Oh yeah, he's exactly who he said he was. But you know what niggas say? See, that's them Christians, the Europeans interloping the Old Testament in it. Nigga, they don't even know that's them. They don't even know what that means. Go ahead.
Behold, the hour cometh, yea, is now come that ye shall be scattered, every man to his own, and shall leave me alone. And yet I am not alone, because the Father is with me. These things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have shalom. In the world ye shall have tribulation.
But be what?
But be of good cheer.
Why?
I have overcome
He
the world.
endured the world so that you can have joy in the midst of your tribulations. And I think sometimes we forget about that. See, now we simply because I'm not going to go to Greek, we're going to come back like Laban got trouble for persecuting and doing Jacob wrong. You know what I'm saying? He lost everything that he had. You know, the book say it's a righteous thing for Yahuwah to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. It's a righteous thing. But see, he said, remember, he just said in the world you're going to have tribulation. So in the world you're going to have suffering. But be joyful. You have to be able to endure. A lot of us don't want to endure. Now let's come on back over here to verse 17. I'm in 35. It said, it came to pass when she was in hard labor that the midwife said unto her, fear not, thou shalt have this son also. And it came to pass as her soul was in departing, for she died, that she called his name Benoni, but his father called him Benjamin. And Rachel died and was buried in the way thereof, which is Bethlehem. And Jacob set up a pillar upon her grave. That is the pillar of Rachel's grave unto this day. You go, what are pillars for? Say what?
Hold something up.
You hold something up, right? Now let's come over here to Psalm 77. Just keep that in mind. It was something that Psalm 77 stood out. Oh, most of it is. Verse 6. Make it 5.
Telahim
Matter of fact, make
77.
it 4. Make it Psalm 77 3.
I remember Elohim and was troubled. I complained and my ruach was overwhelmed.
You know what that is? Because we didn't read verse 2. He said, the day of my trouble I sought Yahuwah, and sore ran in the night and ceased not. My soul refused to be comforted. Remember what Psalms 30 say, weeping endure for a night, joy come in the morning. Now what do you think this means when he say his soul refused to be comforted? He sought, ran sore in the night. He remembered Elohim, he was troubled. I complained. My ruach was overwhelmed. Because we're looking at endurance. Because Jacob felt like that too with some of that stuff he was going through. This is when the master was getting ready to die. Say, I'm exceedingly sorrowful even unto death. And what did he go do? He ran and gave his complaint to Yah in the night. Because that's when they went and ate, in the night. Keep on going, sir. Verse 4.
Thou holdest my eyes waking. I am so troubled that I cannot speak.
There's another reason why the master ain't say nothing.
I've considered the days of old and the years of ancient times.
Go ahead.
I call to remembrance my song in the night. I commune with my own heart, and my ruach made diligent search.
He said he recalled. What did they do before he got ready? Did they sing a hymn? He said, I call to remembrance my song in the night. I commune with my own heart. Say my ruach made a diligent search. Well, Psalm 4 and 4 say stand in awe and sin not and commune with your own heart, right? Now let's go get John 14 and 26. Go get John 14 and 26. I'll hold Psalm 77 and take it from there because we at the 5 o'clock hour. Now look at John 14 and 26 because he said I'll call to remembrance the word, right? So think about that. This again going back that if you were king, the word ought to already be inside of you. You're supposed to have a copy of that. John 14, 26.
But the Comforter, which is the Ruach HaKodesh, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things and bring all things to your remembrance.
Now then the master, when he was communing with his heart, you think he ain't bring to remembrance the word that he said to him? When he say, Father, not my will be done, but your will be done. He already know he's sitting there communing with his heart. This goes right back to what we were talking about in 2 Corinthians 13. He sat back and say, examine yourselves whether you be in the faith, whether you be reprobate or not. Prove your own self. So if he going to sit back and he going to commune with his own heart and his ruach made a diligent search, what do you think about when it say make a diligent search? Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. This man sat back and he remembered the word. And he thought upon the word, these things must be. I must keep going. There's a reward for me. There's a promise for me. Come on back to Psalm 77. We're in verse 7.
Will Yahuwah cast off forever? And will he be favorable no more?
Go ahead.
Is his mercy clean gone forever?
Is his mercy stopped forever?
Does his promise fail forevermore?
Does his promise fail? Romans 9 and 1. Does his promise stop? You know what ends up happening to us when we be and you get in some manner of tribulation. You think this man ain't gonna do what he said he was gonna do. Even David said, "I spoke hastily." You know what I'm saying? Cause that's how you go to feeling. You know what I'm talking about? That's how the master was feeling when he was going through what he was going through. I'm suffering. Is his mercy gone? You don't think Jacob thought that a couple times? Like, well, he even said if it wasn't for the fear of Elohim, I would have left here with nothing. And he wasn't talking about the fear of Laban. He was talking about his trust and fear and hope in Elohim. I already know that I wasn't going to leave here with nothing. But truly, if I didn't have it, I know I'd have left with nothing. Go ahead, sir.
Romans 9.
And 1.
I say the truth in the Mashiach, I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness to the Ruach HaKodesh.
What else?
That I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart.
You don't think Rachel had continual heaviness and sorrow in her heart when she was giving birth to that baby? Why else would she call him that? You don't think we'd already know Hamashiach had sorrow in his heart, didn't he? Why? Go ahead.
For I could wish that myself were accursed from Mashiach for my brother and my kinsman according to the flesh.
And that's funny that the master was accursed. Matter of fact, you could look at Rachel was accursed because she died. Because death is a curse. Go ahead.
Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the esteem and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of Elohim and the promises. Who are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Mashiach came.
These are the promises, right? So he sat back looking at what was the promise that he made to Yasharal. Did he not promise to deliver us from the hand of our enemies? Did he not promise to redeem us back unto him, that we should be his Elohim and that he should be our Elohim and we should be his people? Did he not promise that he would give you a new heart and a new ruach? Did he not promise to cleanse you from all your idols and all the things that you offend? And the master sitting back looking at it is his promises going to stop based on what I'm going through right now at this moment in time? Did he not promise to Jacob, and we read Genesis 28 last night, did he not promise Jacob that his seed would take that land and he would give him all these things and he would always be with him? But when Jacob was dealing with Laban and when he was dealing with Esau, do you think that he sat back and looked at his mercies are far gone? I've been working for this woman 14 years. Nigga done changed my wages 10 times. But what did Jacob do? He kept going. Did he sin in the midst of that? No, he kept on going. Go ahead.
Whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Mashiach came, who is over all, Elohim Baruch, forever. Amen.
That's good. Now let's come on back to look at Psalm 77 and 10. And let's look at the question that this man steps back and he said.
And I said, this is my infirmity, but I will remember the years of the right hand of the Most High.
Now look at, when we look at infirmity, that word is kala. It means to be weak or sick or diseased or grieved. Remember what we read, what Paul said in 2 Corinthians 12? He say, be of good cheer. My favor is made perfect in weakness. He said his favor is made perfect when you're sorrowful, when you're grieved, when you're broken. And that's when Paul turned around and said, you know what? I will esteem in my infirmities. I will esteem in the things that I am weak. Therefore, through that, I can be made strong, because Paul could remember Ecclesiastes chapter 8, where the word of the king is, there is power. See, dudes don't have no power because of the word of the king is not with them. Because they're not kings. Because the master was a king. You know, if the master said back and he said he the king of Yehuda, don't that mean he got to walk around with a copy of the book of the law with him? He did though. He did though. Because it was in his heart. I can remember being in the street and it always come to my mind, well, you know, you're going to have this thing in your heart. Boy, you can't always go in this backpack, pull this book out. You know what I'm saying? Because while you taking that time to go in this backpack and pull this book out and flip here and flip there, that person's attention span might have been unstopped. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to talk no more. I'm for real though. If you've ever been in the street dropping word on people, you have to hit them quick. See, dudes think that they could do something like this here in the sentence, sit down and let's read through this and read through that. You might only have somebody for 5 minutes, maybe even 3. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be able to hit them. And that stuff got to be inside of you. You know what I'm saying? When the master was out there, you think he was opening up the Torah to read to them people when he was out there in the street preaching? Only time you see this man talking about opening up a book is when he was well. In the synagogue, in the temple. Yeah, I open it up then. See, that's how dudes, that's how you know how dumb dudes is. They don't sit back and realize you open the book up when you're in the synagogue. When you're in the temple, you sit down and read to them, you teach it to them. You're in the street, you got to preach what's in your heart. You got to sit back. Don't meditate on what you're going to say and what you're going to think. I'm going to tell you what you're going to say and what you're going to think. If the word is not in your heart, how you going to do it? All you going to be doing is fumbling around. You know we Israel. Don't eat no swine. Sunday ain't the Sabbath. That's the devil's day. You say, man, nigga, I ain't want to hear that. That's not the word I needed. I was weary in my heart. I needed a sure word in due season. All you just told me was this here. Sunday is the devil's day. Thanks a lot, brother. Thanks a lot. Oh, don't forget your fringes. Where is your fringes, brother? Where are your capris and your sandals at? Oh, you forgot about that, didn't you? You forgot about that? Yeah, we used to do that, clown on that all the time. Where are your capris at? Your sandals at? Where are your sandals at? You know what I'm saying? Where your locks at, brother? See, you ain't no Hebrew, nigga. You ain't got no beard. Nigga say, but you ain't got no freedom. I'll take freedom over a beard for 300, Alex. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, for real. Come on, man. When he say, remember how he said he'll remember the years of the Most High? That's going back to what we just read. Get John 15 and look what he told. John 15, make it 22 because I'm feeling good. Y'all didn't laugh like this here, boy. I'll take that for 300. Stupid niggas all the way around here. Where your garments at, brother? You around here dressing like a European. You around here sounding like a dummy, though. So I'm going to be extra righteous because I got a Hebrew garment on? Or nigga, just stop capping and be like, nigga, why don't you shop with me? Don't try to shame me into that. Nigga, just say you nigga shop with me, my nigga. I'm trying to eat. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to shame me into buying your clothes, nigga. That's what a nigga be doing on it. They try to make you think you sinning by what you got on so you can shop with them. Nigga, I'm from Duval County. Nigga, I look stupid to you? Nigga, you running game. Who does that? Nigga, see, you got your captor's clothes on, brother. Around here looking like a European. Nigga, who you think you slicking? Come on, man. You can't defecate no defecator. Nigga, who you think you talking to?
Yeah, that's what I was stuck on. That nigga said, who you slicking?
You know what I'm saying? Those kind of slick oil nigga here, man. You know what I'm saying? But for real though, I just sit back and look at this stuff like, you see this nigga? And niggas riding with him too. Stupid nigga. This nigga clothes probably about $100 a piece. Nigga running game on you. Just say shop with a nigga. See, I respect that more. Shop with me, man. You know what I'm saying? Go on, get your coach on. Get your coach up, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I made this stuff by hand, baby. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to make me feel bad. If anybody try to shame you into doing something, I wonder about your intentions and the purity of your intentions. If you got to try to come at me to make me feel bad to do something that you want me to do, I don't take that as being sincere. Because that ain't how you come at somebody. If I want you to spend some money with me, I'm not going to try to, see, you shouldn't eat meat, brother. See, you know they do that meat, and then turn around and be like this here. And see, I got this stuff right here. How about you buy this here? Oh, man. I thought you really cared about me, nigga. You trying to get paid. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all might fall for that stuff. You better watch them niggas. Because niggas will make merchandise out you out the name of Yahuwah. Don't be no fool about it. Don't think that because they come out they Hebrews and we brothers and all that, then these niggas won't try to get your cash. If it's good stuff, I'm going to tell you, anything that's good, it sells on its own face. You ain't got to put nothing extra to it. You ain't got to do none of that. It'll speak for itself. You ain't got to extra sell the word. The word speak for itself. They going to copy, they going to copy. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to keep going, buy. I mean, I know your stuff trash. No. You should already know that there. If you deal with a woman, she keep coming at you wanting to have sex or vice versa. There's something wrong with that. You probably got a disease or a defect. Because anything that's worth having, ain't nobody going to press themselves on you to get it. Because they'll see the value in what you're selling. You ain't got to do that. You know, I just say that we use it because it's high-end stuff. You don't see Bentley or Rolls Royce or Rolex pressing themselves to sell you their products. You sure see McDonald's do it, though. You sure see McDonald's do it. You sure see these other stuff that's of low quality. They got a lot of commercial airtime on it. You wonder why. Arby's.
That's all I can think about. They commercials in high rotation.
High rotation. Shop with me, baby. Just talking about this some quality turkey. Nigga, you got that turkey from Harvey's, nigga. I seen a nigga say Harvey's only in the hood. I said, he said when Dick say ain't nothing. It's one Harvey's ain't in the hood though. Only one. The rest of them in the hood. Go ahead. 15:22, man.
If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin.
Remember, like this here, you can take this and run that bitch back to Jacob and Laban, because if Jacob wouldn't have said what he said to Laban, then Laban wouldn't have known what his error was. Now what? Go ahead.
They
No,
had
we
not
just talking
had
about
sin.
Jacob. We just talking about Jacob. Go ahead.
But now they have no cloak for their sin.
And then Laban ain't had no more cover for his sin. And what did Laban end up doing after that? He hated Jacob after that. That whole nigga gonna tell me I'm doing this here. Because you did it, nigga. Nigga, get my cash. I just love the way Jacob sit back and say, man, so what you gonna do with these wages, man? How I'm gonna take care of my house, bro? If you don't come up off my cash so I can take care of these children, I got 12 of them over here. And 2 wives. And I gotta take care of these handmaids. Boy, if you don't give my money, boy. I need my money on time. You know what I'm talking about? And they say, man, you ain't get nothing extra. We have a contract. Go ahead.
He that hated me hated my Father also.
Also,
If I had not done among them the works which none other man did, they had not had sin. But now have they both seen and hated both me and my Father.
they say he hated me and my father.
But this cometh to pass that the word might be fulfilled that is written in their law. They hated me without a
He
cause.
hated Jacob for no reason.
But when the
Because
comforter,
you know, we read it last night. Didn't Jacob run down everything he did for Laban? He said, even when one of your cattle died, I took that loss. I ate that and paid for it myself. Go ahead.
But when the Comforter is come, whom I will send unto you from the Father, even the Ruach of truth, which proceeded from the Father, he shall testify of me. And ye also shall bear witness, because ye have been with me from the beginning.
You know, you sit back and say, he'll bear witness. So you have to sit back and remember when you're dealing with certain things, remember the word. But how you going to remember the word if the word is not inside of you? How many of y'all done felt like you'd have been in a certain situation because you were dealing with something and the word came to your head? Something in the word. I ain't talking about pop the book open and go read. I'm talking about, no, not talking about Matthew 16:22. No, not like that. I mean the word itself. Man say he bring to remembrance everything that he said to you. Had to have a word in you. When you actually have taken the word and internalized it, it'll talk to you. You see it? Or you can actually see it. See? Well, everybody's different. You special anyway. We still love you though. Except on Thursdays. I don't love you on Thursdays. I don't know. I figured out later. Go ahead.
That's it.
That's it. Come on back to Psalm 77. Now, he's going to read you where we at. Verse 11, verse 12. When we look at verse 12, right, the word for meditate is hagah. And it's to moan or to growl or to utter or devise or to plot or to imagine. So go on and get Psalms 1 and 1. I tried. I get it.
Psalms 1 and 1. Baruch is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor
do what?
sitteth in the seat of the scornful.
So we already sit back and look at it. You talk about sitting in the seat of the scornful. You definitely not sitting down listening to Satan, always mocking and accusing. You definitely not going the way sinners go, and you certainly ain't rocking with taking no advice from an ungodly person. How can you get blessed taking advice from a cursed individual? That ain't gonna work. Go ahead.
It said, but his delight is the Torah of Yahuwah, and in his law doth he meditate day and night.
So in his word, he muses upon it, or he meditates, he thinks on it, he growls it, he utters it. And that's what it said back and said in Psalm 77. He said, I will meditate also of all thy word and talk of all thy doings. Let's look at 2 Corinthians chapter 4. Pick me up at verse 11. Because remember, Paul is about to quote Telahim 1:16. Telahim 1:16, this man tells you something. Say, I believe, therefore I have spoken. And when he's sitting back looking at talking about all of thy doings, and I'll read you verse 13 because that's what stood out to me too. Say, thy way, O Elohim, is in the sanctuary. Who is so great a Elohim as our Elohim? This man said his way is in the sanctuary. You got to think about that. Because we know sanctuary just is what? Rest. So his way is in rest. Who is our rest? And that's what you're supposed to look at when you, that's why that man say, come unto me all ye that are heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. I'll be your sanctuary while you taking these afflictions on. If you could just endure for a season. Go ahead. Dang it, Paul.
2 Corinthians 4, chapter, verse 11. For we which live are always delivered unto death for Yahushua's sake,
Yep.
that the life also of Yahushua might be made manifest in our mortal flesh. So then death worketh in us, but life in you. We having the same ruach of faith according as it
We have the
is
same
written.
ruach of what?
Of faith,
And what else?
according as it is written, I believe, and therefore have I
So
spoken.
if you have the ruach of faith, and he so faith come by hearing, and hearing come by the word, and the new covenant is the word written in your inward parts, don't you think that you would be able to meditate and speak upon that? And that it would bring and when you dealing with certain things, that could come back to your remembrance? So we don't look at stuff like that. I'm going to show you another thing, what he was in. Go back to Isaiah 41. And look at about verse 10. I ain't even get to the part that I know I can say that. Because it was something else I was supposed to hit this week, and I forgot what it was. I remember two of them, I ain't remember the third.
Yashayahu 41 verse 10.
What did it say?
Fear thou not,
Fear thou not,
for I am with thee.
I'm with thee. Matter of fact, back up to 7. Matter, make it 6. Tell me what 6 say.
They helped everyone his neighbor, and everyone said to his brother, be of good courage.
Did he not just sit back and tell his apostles to be of good courage? And that's sometimes what you have to do. You have to sit back and you have to look at your brother and tell him you need to be of good courage. You need to strengthen yourself. Go ahead.
So the carpenter encouraged the goldsmith, and he that smoothest with the hammer him that smote the anvil, saying, it is ready for the soldering, and the fastening it with nails, that it should not be moved. But thou, Yasharal, art my servant, Yacom whom I have chosen, and the seed of Abraham my friend. Thou whom I have taken from the ends of the earth, and called thee from the chief men thereof, and said unto thee,
What
thou
is it?
art my servant.
Thou art my what?
Thy servant.
Go ahead.
I have chosen thee, and not cast thee away. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy Elohim. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of thy righteousness.
You know, we talked about that last night in that book of Jude, right? Where he sat back and told you, right, that he'll keep you from falling. Now, what do you think back when you read verse 7, right? He told everyone his neighbor, everyone said to his brother, be of good courage. And the carpenter encouraged the goldsmith, and he smoothed with the hammer him that smote the anvil, say it's ready for soldering. And that he fastened it with nails that it shouldn't be moved. What is he telling you about? In them two verses, you should be able to ascertain what he's telling you about.
Verse, I was thinking about when he said to be of good cheer, I overcame the world.
I miss he said that there, but now let's sit back and look at in another aspect. He's telling them, be of good courage. Then he said somebody take something for soldering. Get these nails and stamp this nigga so he don't move. What it is, Luke 22? Pick me up about verse 4.
Luke 22 verse 4.
40.
40. And when he was at the place, he said unto them, pray that ye enter not into temptation. And he was withdrawn from them about a stone's cast, and kneeled down and prayed.
I'm going to say this here. The word for soldering in that verse is devak, and it means joints or joining, an appendage, or open joints of a breastplate. So when he turned around and say the carpenter encouraged the goldsmith, and he that smoothed with the hammer and smote the anvil, say it's ready for soldering, and that he should fasten it with nails, you're going to see what he's talking about. Go ahead, bro.
Saying, Father, if thou be willing, remove this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but thine will be done.
He say, remove this cup from me, but nevertheless, not my will, but thy will be done.
But there appeared an Malachim unto him from Shamaim, strengthening him.
There became a what?
A Malachim from Shamaim, strengthening
What
him.
that sound like to me? What that sound like? Does that not sound that everyone helped his neighbor? And everyone said to his brother, be of good courage? Did he not speak a word in due season to him that was weary or that was weak? You have to sit back and look at that. You know what I'm saying? To sit back and get an example that even when the master was weak in his tribulations and sufferings, that there was someone there who came to encourage him, that he may continue. Because if we look at like ready for the soldering and that's a breastplate, then what that breastplate is, the breastplate of righteousness or the breastplate of faith, you are ready to exercise your faith now. Get the hammer and nail him to this stake. You know what I'm saying? So you have to sit back and look at when you come to serve Elohim and you prepare your heart to serve him, then you should already have that heart of faith, like Paul mentioned in 2 Corinthians 11, and be ready to nail yourself to the stake along with him. You have to think about that. You know what I'm saying? You have to really think about that. Come on back, man. That's why he told him, fear not and be dismayed. That's why the master told you, be of good cheer. I've overcame the world. You ain't got no reason to fear. Because everything that you could be scared of, I already took that. Yeah. He the whole one. Though he talking to these people about idol worship. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at it's testifying of the carpenter is the person who builds what? Houses. Hebrews 8:1. I'll show you why I said that. I was waiting to do it to the end. Because remember he said thy way is in the sanctuary. The master is the sanctuary, right? We know he said he the way, the truth, and the life. So your way is in your house or in your rest. The way to salvation, you got to go through the Son. And the Son told you to endure. And you're going to have tribulations and sufferings. Okay, on what part? What part, Nisha? Just type it to me and tell me what part you don't understand. Go ahead, bro.
Now of these things which we have spoken, this is the sum. We have such a high priest who is set on the right hand of the throne of the majesty of the Shamayim, a minister of the sanctuary.
A minister of what?
Of the sanctuary.
What does the minister do? He serves in the house, right? We talked about last night. Of all the things he could have told his apostles to increase their faith, he told them to be a servant. That's what he told them to do. He could have told them a multitude, because you know everybody read verse 6, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed. Well, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you would serve, because that's what Abraham did. That's what Isaac did. That's what Jacob did. That's what Isaiah did. That's what Jeremiah did. That's what Mordecai did. That's what Esther did. Okay, I'm going to get to it in just a moment, Nisha. I got you on that. That's what he did. That's what all, when you look at every righteous man in the word, what one thing that they had in common? They were all servants. They were all servants. They all sought someone else before they sought themselves. That's the common theme. Especially those who, the one person you see tried to buck, that was Jonah. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't because he didn't want to serve. He didn't want to serve those people. So I don't care about them serious, man. Screw them niggas, man. I go anywhere. I ain't messing with them. No, I ain't messing with them. You know what I'm saying? That's the common theme. Now go ahead, finish that verse out though. Minister of the sanctuary, right?
Minister of the sanctuary and of the true tabernacle which Yahuwah pitched and not man.
Yeah, that who pitched?
Not man.
So we see who the carpenter is then. And who you say, what do goldsmiths do? They take things through the fire, right? Furnace of affliction. So we see who the goldsmith is. Why do you sit back when he gives these examples and then he says, but Yasharal, you're my servant whom I've chosen. You my servant whom I've chosen. And then he's telling them not to fear. And I've taken you from the ends of the earth and called the chief men to you. Come on back to Isaiah 41 though. They're telling you about your Savior, man. And but also what we're dealing with is an example of enduring and continuing. Go ahead, bro. Because it's really verse 11 and 12 that stood out. Go ahead, bro. And the reason why we sit back and looking at meditating in the night and meditating this here, because the master uttered the word to them when they were finna kill him, right? He said book to them in certain places. This is why he say don't meditate on what you gonna say, because the Ruach will bring, he'll put a word in your mouth and it's gonna come right about that book. Go ahead.
Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt seek them and shalt not find them, even them that contended with thee. They that war against thee shall be as nothing, and as the thing of naught.
And what y'all think this could mean? Everyone that was incensed against you will be ashamed. They'll be as nothing. Everyone that strives against you will perish. Everybody that sought you, you will seek them and not gonna find them. Even them that contended with thee, they that war against you will be as nothing. As nothing. Go ahead and get Revelation 1 and 7. And after Revelation 1 and 7, 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. Revelation 1 and 7.
Behold, he cometh with clouds.
He come with what?
With clouds.
And what else?
And every eye shall see him.
And what
and
else?
they also which pierced him, and all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him.
Now why would they be wailing? Who were the people that contended with him? His own people did. Did they not go? Did he say, do you come at me as a thief with swords and staves? They came to war. They came to battle. What you think they're going to do to you? And you have to be able to endure that and take that. Remember, he said they'll kill you and think they do Elohim service. I tell you these things so you don't be offended. I'm telling you these things like the master told us so you don't be offended. Because what you going to do when they come to go to war with you? Because if you already been crucified with Mashiach, then guess what will happen then? Then you would not fear, because you know that he would uphold you with the right hand of his righteousness, and you would be able to continually endure through this. You know what I'm talking about? Now let's sit back and look at the point of what she was talking about in Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 2. Oh yeah, 2 Peter 3 and 7, my apologies.
Likewise, ye husbands.
Make it 8. Second, you in 1 Peter. 2 Peter 3 and 7. When you sit back and you know in Zechariah 14, you know he gave a statement, right? He said all those that would not show up for tabernacles, that their eyes would consume away and their flesh would burn away. Go ahead. 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 7.
But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of the ungodly men. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with Yahuwah as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. And Yahuwah is not slack concerning his promise,
Go ahead.
as some men count slackness, but is long suffering towards us, to us ward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. But the day of Yahuwah will come as a thief in the night, in which the Shamaim shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the earth also, and the works that are therein
And
shall
the
be
works
burnt up.
shall be burnt up. He said those that were incensed to thee, they'll be as nothing. Those that strived against thee shall perish. Everyone that's going against y'all, they gonna perish. Because you would be no different than those that went against the master. You think ain't nothing good happened to Laban because he went against Jacob? You know what I'm saying? And if you know this and you trust in this, then you would be able to keep. That's what Jacob told Laban. Because I have the fear of Elohim, I will suffer your manners because I know that what I will receive because of whom I serve. So I will endure your persecutions, I'll endure my afflictions and my sorrows and all these things you done did unto me because I know what I will get. I don't think sometimes we sit back and look at that. Now we can look at Hebrews chapter 12 and what we sit back looking at, because he said, nail this man with nails so he won't be moved. Now we read that Hebrews 12, we say run the race with patience when you put aside the weight and the sin that stop you. Most people look at why they not where they want to be at in the word is because you have not laid aside the every weight that's holding you down, and you haven't put to the side the sin that's stopping you from going where you say you want to go. I'm gonna tell you like this here, man. Everyone who makes it in the kingdom of Shamaim will make it in there because that was their choice to do what was necessary and required to get there. And everybody who's going to hell chose not to do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. You sat back and looked at that I did not have the intestinal fortitude, the spiritual maturity and drive to put this stuff to the side and to put myself to the side so I could get to where I say I want to be at. Because everybody said they want to get in the kingdom, and everybody's going. But somebody got to go to hell, and it's not the Gentiles. It just ain't them. Because when he was talking about burning niggas up in hell, he wasn't talking about no Gentiles. He said, Isaiah 33, he said the hypocrites in Zion are afraid. He didn't say the hypocrites in the world. He said the hypocrites in Zion are afraid. When he told Ezekiel to prophesy to that forest, he sat back and said, they speaking parable. No, nigga, no parable, nigga. I'm going to burn this forest up because y'all playing with me. I'm not playing with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of, don't you know this man got tired of pleading with you? Don't you know this man got tired of talking? Some of y'all get tired of talking to your children. Next thing you know, wow, right upside their head. Because I'm tired of talking. Because I was merciful, I was gracious, I gave you chance after chance, and you just, shoot, man, daddy ain't mama ain't finna do nothing. Now I gotta show you I'm finna do something. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that man's patience and mercy is very, very long. Because the average human would not extend the mercy and patience that he shows to men. And I think we take that mercy and patience as he owes it to you. And that, I get right when I feel like it. Do you know what I'm saying? It don't work that way. Don't play with nobody. Let's sit back and realize, right? Let's just say somebody punched you in your face. And you forgave him. And he come back and punch you in your face again. You know what I'm talking about? After a while, you're going to be like, you know what? That nigga hit me one more time. I'm going to shoot him in his face. And I know dudes who've been killed like that. Steady messing with a dude, he ain't do nothing. Last time he came, it wasn't no more mercy and compassion. He killed him. That's how y'all feel. You know what I'm saying? No, it's people who done did that in marriages. Their wife kept cheating on him, He got tired of it, came home one day, killed her and himself. Because people's stuff run thin. You have somebody, they do something to you one time, you done with it. I ain't messing with that nigga no more. Ain't no mercy, ain't no forgiveness, ain't no compassion, no nothing. I'm done. Y'all don't do that. So then we turn around and look at, I can buck him, and then come back around, sorry. He said, I bet you is. What else is new? Tell me something I don't know. But have you repented though? Don't tell me you're sorry. I know you're sorry. I watch you. I see your life every day. I know you're sorry. And among other adjectives. But where's your repentance at? Where's the fruits that show forth that your mind has been converted to do something different than what you've always done? And we don't do that. Man, if we were to go around, if we had the ability to be able to pop in every congregation in the world, these niggas think that this man owes you this. You know what I'm saying? They think that he owes you repentance. You don't sit back and think of, he's already sent Hamashiach to give you good courage to keep on going. He's already, because what was the master's occupation? He was a carpenter, right? He the goldsmith. Don't Revelation 3 say, I counsel you to buy a gold tried in the fire? So he the goldsmith to take you through the fire, just like the Father did to him. He said, I've opened up your heart for faith, son. Now you're ready for soldering. Get the anvil and the nails and hang yourself on this stake with me and come live with me. And we won't do it. Because then Paul said in Galatians chapter 2, I'm crucified with him. All this stuff is there. And all we're looking at is the master endured this crucifixion, as he's about to read in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2. Go ahead.
For they truly, for a few days chastened us after their own pleasure.
Verse 2.
Looking unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith, who for joy that was set before him endured the stake, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of Elohim.
That suffering. Now, one of the words for suffering, and like I say, y'all willing, with endurance, I get to it another day. One of them is your call, and it's to prevail, to overcome, to endure, or have the ability to reach or to be a victor. Didn't Paul tell you we have victory through the Mashiach? So in order to get victory, you have to actually go up there and die with him. Don't we read in Romans chapter 6 all the time how I say all those that were immersed into his immersion were immersed in his death? So that means you did what? I think I forgot what it was. We dealt with something in Isaiah where it was talking about nailing yourself. You got to actually bomb. You got to sit back and let this man take that hammer and the nail and crucify yourself with it. Don't get me Galatians 2 and 17 since I mentioned it before. Ain't it though? So then it's quite frigid. Maybe even a wee bit nippy. This nigga is stupid.
Galatians 2 and 17. But if while ye seek to be justified by the Mashiach, we ourselves also are found sinners, is therefore Mashiach the minister of sin?
Did he say he the minister of the sanctuary? Can you bring sin in the house of Yahuwah? Did he say thy way is in the sanctuary and the way is the rock? The way to cover sins is the way to the high? Can't do it. Read that again. If we sit back and say we seek to be justified by the knowledge and the faith in Mashiach, then we can't be found to be transgressors. Now we saying that this man taught us to do that. He taught us to endure all things, to overcome, to win. And that's why I use that analogy beforehand. You can look at certain sports, right? You can look at, you know what's the difference between Jamarcus Russell and Tom Brady? It's not physical talent, because Jamarcus Russell had way more physical talent than Tom Brady could ever imagine to have. It was one had the heart of a champion and one didn't. That's it. There's nothing other than that. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. That's what separates champions from average players and losers. One has a desire to be great, to overcome and to win. You know what I'm saying? And they continue like this here, right? You know how most people stay on top? It's because they stay hungry. They still go as hard as the day that they started. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there's a clip where Big was like, you know what I'm saying? Treat everything like it's your first project. You stay hungry. You know what I'm saying? Niggas get complacent because they feel like they have arrived. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming up on 8 years. I still feel the same way about this as the day that I started. Do you know what I'm saying? Ain't that set back and look like, woo, boy, I done got some knowledge and understanding. Boy, I'm all right. Boy, I sit down and chill for a minute. No. Because the minute you do that is the minute you gonna slip. You know what I'm saying? You know why Jordan stayed on top before his body gave out? Because he got old? Because he never sat back and looked at, I'm a 6-time champion, X amount of MVPs. He kept going as if a nigga was going to take it from him. Do you know what I'm saying? Niggas might feel how they feel about LeBron or Kobe and all that, but that's how them dudes treated everything. That's why they champions. Do you know what I'm saying? This is why Tom Brady is a champion. This is why Hamashiach is the greatest champion that ever lived. He could have came like, nigga, I'm the son of God. Nigga, I got everything. No, he went hard. He went hard and still going hard even though he's not here with us right now in the flesh. So then what are we supposed to do? That's why he kept telling you to overcome. Be a champion. Be a winner. Winners will endure all manner of pitfalls, pratfalls, sufferings, afflictions, troubles, adversity to attain to the goal. Losers quit. Do you know what I'm saying? There are people in John chapter 6, he say he spit that hard saying they start walking with him. Losers. Losers quit. Losers don't keep going. When that stuff get hard, loser turn. That's why he say persecution, tribulation arise from the word they get offended. Niggas a loser. When have you ever seen a winner quit? You ain't never seen a winner quit. You done had winners who thought about quitting. They snapped up out of it. They can sit back and say they ain't never think about it. Because it could have been times where they was in a dark place and be like, boy, I ain't going to be able to come back from this here, boy. I'm just done. But you know what they did? They dug down deep and said, you know what? I ain't no quitter. I ain't no loser. I'm a champion. If we going to sit back and say we the children of Yasharal, then you have to have the mind frame of a champion. Go ahead, bro.
Galatians what?
Keep on reading Galatians. And then we'll come back to Hebrews 12 and get ready to cut it off. I will say this here too, though. Don't sit back and think because stuff coming slow or you at a certain point you ain't going to get it. It was amazing to me when I sat back and seen, boy, that dude, Colonel Sanders, Harlan Sanders, say, boy, he ain't hit KFC till he was 65. Till he was 65. He said, you know, my ship hadn't came in yet. You know what I'm saying? Sylvester Stallone, he was pretty old by the time he hit Rocky. He was not a young man. You know what I'm saying? He kept going, though. You know what I'm talking about? You got to keep going because you don't never sit back and know when your ship going to sail. When your rocket ship gonna take off. But you gotta keep going. That's what champions do. They don't sit back and look at me. It's taking too long. Shoot, tomorrow might be the day. Tomorrow might be the day. Tomorrow might be the day. Then I'm gonna keep on pressing. You supposed to sit back and look at it. You might not got the rule out today. Tomorrow might be the day. Tomorrow might be the day. You better keep on going. Go ahead.
For if I build again the things which I destroyed, I make myself a transgressor. For I through the law am dead to the law, that I might live unto Elohim. I am crucified with the Mashiach, nevertheless I live with the Mashiach.
So that means that the carpenter and the goldsmith came and got him. Because we already read where Paul say, I believe, therefore I speak. That means the solder and that breastplate was opened up. It's a heart of faith in them. I believe. I'm going to get on up there and die with you. Read that to him again. Listen to what he tell you now.
He said, I am crucified with the Mashiach, nevertheless I live.
Nevertheless I live.
Yet not I, but the Mashiach live in me.
That's how you be live. You dead, but you're alive though. Dead to sins, but alive to Elohim. Go ahead.
In the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of Elohim who
I don't
loved
live
me.
by the law. I live by my faith in the Son of Elohim who loved me, because he loved me enough to die. He ain't loved me enough to tell me not to eat no swine. He loved me enough to come down here and be troubled and to suffer and to endure and die for my sake. I do whatever he tell me to do. That's where them laws come in after that. I do whatever he tell me to do after that, because I stand for something. See, I ain't get to that part. He says, my strength in some stones. Yeah, my strength in some stones, because I built my house upon a rock. That when the wind come and the rain come and it beat upon this house, it can't be moved because it's built on the rock. See, I'm locked in. I'm enduring. You can't move me, nigga. I don't care what you talking about. This, that, there, and the third. Nigga come tell you, oh, nigga, you ain't going to be nothing. Shoot, your mamma ain't going to be nothing. You know what I'm saying? Speak for yourself. But that's how confident people feel who actually stand for something, who working towards something. You ain't gonna say that if you don't stand for nothing, you ain't working towards nothing. You just gonna be like that, man, they don't want to see me make it. Shoot, I'm gonna look at your mammy don't stand for nothing, nigga. Tell your mammy get off the block, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Go tell her get some Summer's Eve, do something with that. Go ahead. Yeah, I got a sport, I don't care, shoot. I just said, but I ain't gonna say that, I ain't gonna say that. I know, I'm very confident in who I am and what I can do. I don't know about y'all. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Go ahead, bro. And every one of y'all should feel that way. But you ain't going to feel that way if you ain't actually doing something to what that. You know what I'm saying? You can't teach confidence. You either got that or you don't. Because ain't nobody going to believe in you, you don't believe in yourself. And you definitely ain't nobody ain't going to believe in you if you're not doing anything to cause them to believe in you. Nobody should just believe in you because you feel like they should. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to see something that there's something worth me putting my trust and hoping that I can get something out of that if I put something into it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't put nothing into the word to get something out of it because they don't believe it. They don't have no confidence in it. The master had confidence in the word. That's why he was willing to die. He knew what he was going to get. A lot of us won't die with him because you don't believe you're going to get that. Or else you would have put your confidence in him and got up on there in that stake with him. You would have gladly said, who? Die with who? When? Now? Well, let's go then. You ain't said nothing, nigga. Make a light on yourself. That's what you would have did. You would have walked right up there to that stake and be like, shoot, is there room for more? Is there room for one more? Or do I need to get my own? You know what the master tell you? You ain't got to get your own. Just come up here with me. There's room for whoever. There's room. There's plenty of room. There's room for everybody in this room. There's room for everybody on this planet. But you got to want to get up there and get up there with him. Go ahead. Where you at, man? Finish it up.
He said, I am crucified with the Mashiach, nevertheless I live, yet not I, but Mashiach live in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of Elohim, who loved me and gave himself for me. I do not frustrate the grace of the Mashiach, for if righteousness come by the law, then the Mashiach is dead in vain.
So he dead for nothing. So the law's not going to produce that faith for you to be able to endure. That's what Jacob was saying when he was dealing with what he was dealing with. It was his faith in Elohim and his confidence called him to keep going. It wasn't no thou shalt nots. That ain't what caused him to keep going. Some of y'all done tripped up and failed, and it was because your faith was not where it was supposed to be at that time. It had nothing to do with no laws. And you know what? And if you picked yourself up and kept going, you know what made you keep going? It was the faith in Elohim. It wasn't no laws. It wasn't no shoot Passover coming. I need to tighten up. I'm for real. But you know that's how Bruce make it seem though. I didn't want to come on, finish that Hebrew. Give him verse 12 again. Verse 2 again, I'm sorry. Hebrew 12. I'm going to sit back and tell you, man, you want to be perfect? Trust the word and walk in it. And you'll keep going. I done had some situations where you'd be like this, like, oh man. But I know some niggas would have folded up. They tend to be like, boy, shoot. You don't have no certain dwelling place. Just niggas on that one alone would have stopped doing that. Them niggas would have turned to the world. What them niggas been posting that picture talking about a homosexual? Niggas would have been looking for a woman to get with so they could live with her. You know what I'm saying? When you don't know, I'm talking about, I can tell you, I done had days where I did not know where I was going to sleep. When I got up that day from the previous place where I was resting at. And I was not concerned with that because I had work to go do. This word got to be moved. What I'm worried about where I'm going to sleep for and I got work to do. If I believe this man's word, don't he say he's never seen the righteous begging for bread? I ain't beg for nothing. I had people come up, boy, you done ate? Or you can slide around here and stay over here. Real rap now. Come on.
Yeah, Hebrews 2:12.
2 and 12 and 2. I'm sorry, not 2 and 12. Hebrews 12 and 2, everybody. We finna get ready to rapping. Hey, Liz.
Look unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith, whom for the joy that was set before him endured the state, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of Elohim.
So you see what enduring got him and sit at the right hand, and we just did it a little backwards to come. We've been talking about how enduring gonna get you in the house, right? Come on.
It said, for consider him that endured such contradictions.
So consider him who did such contradictions. What are those contradictions? No, I'm just lying. No, just keep it.
Of sinners against himself,
So
lest
this
he be
man
weary.
laid his life down for sinners. He didn't die for righteous people. He died for sinners. He said, lest you be what?
Say, lest you be faint in your minds.
Unless you begin to get weak and fall out of your mind. Why is that?
Ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin.
How many of y'all by show of hands done resisted against your life, shedding blood so you couldn't sin? So if you ain't did that, then anything that you resisted is absolutely nothing. It's absolutely nothing. Not one single solitary person in here has resisted sin and at the cost of their life. None of us did that. Because he died to resist sin, didn't he? Any of us did that? No, you just resisting. That's what I want to do. So if he can resist sin and endure to keep the word and to overcome against his own life, or you can overcome your little flesh now. Because his flesh was telling him, boy, you don't want to die, and he overcame that real fast. Real fast. Go ahead.
And ye have not forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children.
What it say?
My son, despise not the chastening of the master, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him.
But endure that chapter. But we start right there. Hallelujah for Yahushua the word. We gotta stop. We gotta stop. This guy. Yeah, that ain't gonna stop. Yeah, they get him. Excuse me, everybody.